Hello, hello, and welcome, guys. We're back with episode 16 of Carrion Crown. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, DJ. I saw you just swing back in.
Yeah.
You doing all right, man?
Nah.
No?
I'm tired, dude. I'm tired, but I am here.
Good.
I'll pull it together. I just gotta wake up. Now I want pizza because
Tosh, yeah, she's ruining things.
She's always, dude. She tortures us every episode.
Do you want some?
Mm-hmm.
Chicken fajita pizza.
Ooh. Wait, is that freaking pineapple on it?
No, it's peppers. Bell
I
peppers.
was about to say, I'll slap that out your hand if it's pineapple.
Today, guys.
Bub, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing really good. I mean, I'm doing good. I don't know if I'm doing as good as you, though. I saw this tweet about you getting broke.
Yeah, man, I was broken, man. I don't know. I was like exhausted just seeing stuff last night. It was good.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is, man, that's 5 years of grindage right there. Like, I really feel like I bust my butt for that moment, and it feels good. Like when you actually like put the work in, and I don't get many hosts from people, and it's fine with me because that's how I always been. And last night was crazy. It was like all the stream fam came out of nowhere, all the communities came out of nowhere, and it was like, oh man, some sacrificial shit going on.
It was wholesome.
Yeah, it was very wholesome. It made me feel, you get those dark moments in your mind where you think you're not giving enough to your stream, feel like you're not, good enough, or you got to be better, and then they just always prove you wrong in the end. So
Yeah.
Powerful thing communities are.
Hell yeah.
It's the best. It's the absolute best. I'm so happy for you, man. Congrats
Thanks,
on
brother. Same to you.
Snapping up that was that a milestone? Was that the highest subs you've ever had?
The highest I've ever had, man.
That's nuts.
1,021 subs, 403 subs in one night.
Ooh,
Hats goes off to them.
That's
That was like
crazy.
Yeah,
That's so cool though.
Ugh, it was great.
So, how's everybody else feeling?
Great. I just retweeted.
I saw that you retweeted and hosted.
I
Oh,
need
thank
to
you so
retweet.
much.
I need to retweet.
It's
Great
weird.
flex.
We're gonna smash some of those goals today. I'm pretty stoked about it, guys. Last week, let's just go ahead and jump right into to the events of what happened last week.
Well,
So-
Nyx is pretty dead.
Lily messed it up. It was all
She's pretty dead, bro. Like,
Please.
I'm not even joking.
okay.
Though.
It's okay,
That's the
Nick.
funny thing about it.
I'm just saving your life. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's no
I mean,
big deal.
Hello,
I
is
feel
that
like I feel like everyone's like, Nyx is finally unconscious. Now we can just beat her up.
Nah, dude. I think Ellos had his hands inside you more than anybody on
Live.
It's so true. It's so true.
It's funny.
Bub made me describe how I was going to sew you back together.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Like he's like, what do you do with the surgery? And I'm like sitting here like as Cypress, maybe he knows, but as Ellohime, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do for a surgery with a stab wound in the stomach like this. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I fix it. Like, I don't know.
And I
So
just
it was
still
kind of
tummy.
touch and go. I just I winged it. I did the
It was
best.
it was
I
good
could,
though.
and,
Like, admittedly,
It was really good.
we were all sitting here like, okay, all right. Like, there's no ball drop in here. He's just running with it. Okay. What's happening?
I did my best. I did my best. I mean, I'm no surgeon.
That's
but-
that's all we can ask for. You know what I mean? That's it was sick. I will say that the one time you're down and out, Nyx, they go and kill the sheriff.
Okay,
Yeah.
see what had happened was I was
So
afraid.
I was really drunk.
Yeah, she was drunk. She slashed him
actually
across his face because she had her claws out.
He punched me in the face. He deserved it.
I was
punched
pissed
you
that
in
he
the
did that.
He punched me in the face.
Yeah, I was pissed that he did that, and Solis snapped for the first time,
Yeah.
and he shot a bow and did extreme critical damage and killed the dude. So yeah, hit him in the knee, ironically enough. Shattered everything, bled out, and then on top of that, apparently Mogar put an axe through his chest. So Yeah, that guy wasn't going to live.
It was basically a mix. Okay, so we started out where you left off, right? And you had a sword inside of you, and it was, Gibbs stabbing you. And Gibbs was possessed, and it was honestly perpetuated forward mostly by Mogar. Mogar busted up from the ground to save you.
He did.
And was in berserker mode and decided to try to tackle him to the ground and like subdue him. But I think the group just got to a point where we were sick of being careful because they were possessed. And we're just like, fuck it. Let's just, I don't know. I wasn't there. My character wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was watching.
I think
Yeah,
what drove it was her being stabbed. Yeah.
Yeah, so they knock him to the ground. Like he gets kicked by Symarra. What's your name? DJ. What's your
Solis.
Solis.
Name,
it's always his S names. I get them messed up. Solis shoots his bow and just does like the most beautiful, like critical. Like if this were crazy. Against like a true enemy, like a, we would all be like, yeah, But it was like it was bittersweet because it was like, oh, Gibbs so shit.
I think I rolled like a 27 or some crazy shit like that. It was insane, or 21. Yeah. I don't know. It was critical.
Then. It wasn't even just that though. Like right before that, he got an axe in the chest from Mogar. Mogar like threw his axe in his chest, or like hit him hard, it like busted him up.
It didn't care.
Mogar. And here's the thing: is Daniel's role playing Mogar's rage ability like a loss of control, which makes sense. That and some people do. Some people do it like more controlled, like I still have my brains about me, I'm just freaking out, but he was like 100% pure adrenaline, like living in the moment. And so he ended up pretty much I would put the murder on Mogar for sure. Like that's
I don't think my one damage counts really.
Well, I wouldn't say that you
it was one of those
out of culpability just yet.
It was one of those situations where they weren't really sure who to put the blame on, and then Mogar picked up Gibbs' corpse and heaved it at them.
He waved it and threw it.
Yeah, he just picked it up and was like, Mogar!
So, of course, as all this is going down, Bart shows up. And, by this point, I've already come downstairs and grabbed you and taken you upstairs to start working, and Solis was helping me do that. We both took you upstairs. He went back down. But right after they murdered Gibbs and things start to like calm down for a second, Bart knocks on the door.
No. It wasn't a knocking on the door. The townspeople watched the three of them murder Gibb. And
were they already there?
Yeah, they like. You got to remember. Yeah. You got to remember.
Oh,
like
that's right.
An hour previous.
God, I forgot. It's worse than I thought.
Like an hour and a half previous to that, Mogar took down the apothecary's building.
That's right.
To save Nyx.
I remember that.
So people,
I just didn't realize they were there yet.
People were looking through the town of like, what the hell kind of animal would have brought down an entire building with one go? So people are looking through the town to find out what's happened. And then they stumble upon Mogar, Solis, and Symarra just murdering the sheriff. And Bart's just like, why? No!
Yeah, that's really bad.
Mogar.
Get the fuck out of our face.
It's okay. I distinctly remember about 3 games ago, I was like, we should just burn down the whole town, start over. It's okay. I just think that we're at that point.
Yeah. We don't like them anymore.
The team felt the same way, I guess, last week because they got us in a pickle. So yeah. So anyway, so I guess they see the murders there, and Bart's kind of trying to talk to us, and Solis is pissed off. Yeah. He's not really in his right mind. And about this point, I come down. Cypress comes downstairs from surgery with you, and basically it plays out the way you probably think it would. Everybody sees the murder. We're trying to tell them, hey, you've got some fucked up shit in your town. Your place is possessed. You guys know this. They're trying to listen. They're kind of listening to Bart. Bart's kind of playing the ringleader. So we're trying to convince Bart, that we're doing the right thing, that we're not all bad here, but it's kind of difficult. So Bart kind of becomes the new sheriff. He kind of takes up that role, and we decide, correct me if I'm wrong, we decide that we will go with him, kind of as captives, I guess, because we were trying to get him to believe us and to trust us. And he said, well, what I need is for you guys to drop your weapons and come with me. So did I cover that all right?
Yeah, that's really good.
It's good. Yep.
All right.
Symarra was pretty intoxicated through the entire event. Nix, you were...
Yes.
She wasn't very helpful.
No.
A lot of the time.
Nix, you were left with Kendra and with a cleric. The cleric was left by your bedside, left to treat you. So it was Solis, Cypress, Symarra, and Mogar. And this is...
And that was the other thing. We had to decide if we wanted to stay with you there, because moving you is not a good idea. You're really bad off right now.
Oh,
so we had to decide to leave you there.
I can change it, or
no, you're borderline dead. I mean, it's like
no.
you can die. You're very
it's
dead.
it's rough,
stable,
but Cypress
yeah.
Cypress did a pretty good job saving Nix's life. It was one of those things
Like
where
stable, we
God.
didn't want to move her.
yeah, it's one of those things where you're gonna need to rest it out rest of the morning and then start kind of nursing yourself back to health. Obviously, running a marathon would be very bad for Nix right now.
for my magic show.
But your
my
magic.
magic.
That's right.
Can't go around twerking either.
Yeah, not
Damn it.
at least not for a week. So let's get you a week in game before you start twerking, and then
Slow twerks. Slow twerks.
Yeah.
Slow butt claps.
Oh no.
oh God. Perfect. Okay. So the session actually ended with everyone at the jail. Bart has been asking several times, give me something to work with. The people of this town are rightfully upset. They just witnessed most of you killing the only predominant authority they may have in the entire town. And you guys offered your weapons, you went with, and you started to explain the events that had gone down, some of the worst things that were transpiring. And you basically came to the conclusion that you were going to speak to someone tomorrow, or your next opportunity. Samara, it looks like you've got some things, so go run with it.
Yeah, he was scratching his back consistently, and we were like, "What are you doing, dude?" And then he had something writhing under his skin. Yum. That spelled the letters O-R-I. And it was a rush. It's red and intense. Awesome. It's cool.
I think it should also be noted that some things happened out of game that affected our game. And what
The desperation.
No,
Yeah, so
it wasn't desperation.
so basically Bub got kind of what DJ had last night, Bub had, a week or two ago. And he got a big donation, or not big donation, but a big sub streak and everything. It was gifted, and a lot of the gifts came from one of the viewers in the chat. So as sort of a thank you, I suggested that we allow him to sort of influence the game in a good or bad way. And he chose in a bad way, and he basically pushed the time up for us.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. So it's almost as if we have lost some time. Things have been moved forward faster than anticipated.
Yep.
So just a heads up.
He advanced your internal game timeline. So things that were happening slowly, where you would see the letters V, then E, and S, so on and so forth. Instead of just finding a single letter at the same time, or in one particular location, you instead find 3 letters coupled together. And those letters were O, R, and I. Based off of those details... Go ahead.
You would say.
Based off of the details and the previous letters that were given, you believe that It's Vessori. Vessori. And there's one person that has part of that in their name. It's Vessoriana. It's someone that you have seen depicted on, maybe not so much depicted, but it was a shrine. Was that it? Was it a shrine?
It was the warden's wife, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
believe
her
so.
name was on the shrine. Oh no.
I can't remember if it was on the shrine or not. But yeah, it had to be, because that's how you guys actually discovered that.
Oh, okay.
That was her
makes
name.
sense.
But yeah, it was depicted on... Oh, it was a memorial. It was a memorial to Harrowstone Prison. Vessoriana was the warden's wife, Vessoriana Hawkrin. And you are realizing now that they're spelling Vessoriana, but you're not entirely sure why. Your lead is that there's something happening at the prison, but you don't really know because you're largely terrified of what's going on there. So you decided, let's go talk to the one person that kind of has an idea of what's going on. And that was the man at the academy, the unfurling scroll. Remember, he was the one that put the marks on the back of your necks. So, well, for whatever reason, you may not be able to be possessed. Something to that discourse. Either way, that was your next call. It's what you wanted to do. Bart said that he would rope him in for questioning. And that is when things started to go pear-shaped. The lights began to flicker, turning into a vibrant blue, and then flipping to darkness. Once they went dark, you all stood prepared for combat, and that's when the voice rang out to each of you.
I own you.
You heard this, and that's where the session ended.
Yay.
I had opened one of those
Then
siphon things, right?
Yeah.
I always forget what they're called.
Salt siphon.
Haunt siphons.
Hot siphon.
Yes. I had opened one of them. Was that what activated this, right? Or did this start and then I did that
It was-
and then I can't remember.
It said
I'm
it
trying
was
to remember what I
flickering,
did.
and then
Bart-
you opened it.
Yeah,
and
Bart
then
had
it
like
went-
blisters and weird stuff happening to him.
It hit the spots on his back. It was the blood pooling up. So let's go ahead and start right there. What do you think? I think that's a good plan.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I like it.
Let's do
I
it.
think Symarra is the only one that can't see in the dark.
No, Cypress can't
Oh, okay.
either.
do you want my hat?
I don't think Nyx can see in the dark either.
I can't.
She
I
has
just
a
use
hat.
Yeah, she has a hat.
Oh, that's right. Your hat allows you to see in the dark. I
Magic hat.
remember now. Okay.
Pretty nice hat.
It's pretty good. I wanted to put you under ambiance. So what do you guys think you're going to start with here?
Okay, so explain what we're seeing right now, like get us back into where we're at.
I got you. Essentially, the way that this is going to work is that you guys had just stood in preparation for any kind of action, some kind of opposition that may befall you. But nothing physically has happened yet. The only thing that you've seen is the marks on Bart's back, the lights flicker, and then you've heard the voice. So it still remains dark. That's it. There we go.
Is anything else happening? Like, are we just kind of sitting there right now? Is anything happening with my haunt siphon or?
Technically, have you flipped the haunt siphon open?
Oh yeah, I had opened it immediately. Like as soon as the lights started flickering and stuff, I was like, I've been ready. I've been ready to open this thing up.
Sure.
So I didn't hesitate.
The moment that you flick open the haunt siphon, you can see some apparitions, some shapes kind of take form in the room, and then quickly turn to the bottle. As they sort of spin around the room like a bowl, they return to this bottle that you just opened, and the siphon itself, the silvery type lid, kicks back over and seals. There's an audible pop as it seals itself. The light slowly seems to flicker back forward and return back into the room. It's very faint at first. But there. Bart stands in the corner with his back to the wall, his arms on left and right side. Mogar is not immediately with you.
Uh-oh.
As in, he was there, but now he is not.
Correct.
And he's a giant man. So where the fuck did he go?
That's right.
Always Mogar, man.
You note that the door leading to the cells is actually open. It was not open previously. The front door is still barred.
Huh. So we're just looking around and there's no Mogar.
No Mogar, that's correct.
Well, the lights are out, right?
The lights it's slowly started to kind of like return, but they're very faint. Instead of being quite lantern large, it's like a matchstick.
The fact that we don't know where Mogar is it because the lights went out? Because I could see in the dark.
It was one of those things where you were just kind of like spinning around waiting for something to happen after hearing the voice, and then he was there, and then the moment that you look back, he's not there.
Okay. Solis kind of looks around. He's like, "Oh, going up this shit again."
Where'd he go?
We should check on Bart.
Bart, immediately seeing that you guys are speaking and you're looking around for Mogar, he's like, "What just happened? What was that?"
It's your building.
I tell Bar, I said, this is what we're talking about.
Nothing like that's ever happened here before.
Cypress is
you've seen. That you've seen. Yeah, it has many times.
Hey, Bart, remember that time you got possessed?
Yeah, remember that time I had to sew your face back together?
Yes.
How's your back doing? How does it feel?
He says no on all accounts. Because he was possessed and he was unconscious, unfortunately.
So is his back still bleeding? Does he have still cut?
It just itched previously, so he's not really sure. He feels back and it's still wet.
Stop touching it back.
Oh, by the way, Nix, Bart is not like been okay with us teasing him. He's like he's a sensitive Nancy on this one. So I'm just throwing it out there that when we were trying to persuade the town that we were good and we had good intentions, one of the things that Bart did was break down in a very sissy way.
No, he did not.
Basically cried. He basically cried and he was like, "Oh, you guys hurt my feelings." So we have to be a little bit nicer to Bart, okay?
Pretty much Cypress told him he was going to talk to
He was
the
the
sheep.
worst person ever and didn't let us get
He
lynched.
said, "I'm going to talk to those sheep and I know what you do to them."
I can tell you. Yeah. I can get this story out of those sheep if I need to.
So that got in his skin pretty bad.
I don't know if I can be nice to him.
I'm not being nice
You're
to
gonna
him.
have to try when you're alive.
You just have to be
When you're
not
conscious
When I'm
again.
back, I know I'm just like sitting here. I'm just like,
You just have to be not awful, so that's okay.
All right. Well, I start to kind of like, like I said, I kind of am like, this is what we're talking about. This is what we've been dealing with. To Bart as kind of a cherry on top of the cake. After I'm done explaining, we showed him the proboscis, right? And we showed him like the other things that we had found. And now the lights go off and Mogar's gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this normal? Like what are we dealing with here?
At this point, you guys have
stupid town, Bart.
irrefutable proof, right? There's nothing. This is well beyond the normal parlor tricks of Nyx. So
yeah, what time is it right now?
it's late, man. It's you're probably looking at like what, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning.
See, I would feel like we're closer to the morning time, like 7 a.m., 6 a.m. Because I feel like everything. Yeah, Nyx ran out and did all that stuff in the early morning, right?
All right, we haven't.
Was
had
it?
sleep.
like-
Was it?
Well,
I
it
guess
was nighttime. It's like because everything was shut.
Okay.
I thought it was around midnight.
that's fair. I don't think it's quite 7. I would say that at that point it's still like it's not quite near
early morning.
near dawn at this
5.
point. So you're looking at like 4 o'clock, 4 a.m.
Okay. And I kind of just expressed the urgency to Bart at getting this magician to us for questioning. like to talk to him. Like, go wake him up. We need him here now. Like, this is nuts, you know. So I just kind of plead with Bart to go get that wizard.
Yeah,
and
no,
bring him here.
He understands immediately. Like this is as scary as things have been. It's one thing to be thrown into the hot seat of a sheriff and expecting to pick up the previous detail, but when the detail is a ghost menace from a haunted prison that is a tourist locale, that's absolutely horrifying. So there's no negative response back. He does not retort in any manner. He just kind of nods, gathers his things, and he exits the building. He shuts the door.
That's all we've wanted from Bart. That's all we've wanted since the beginning.
Do what we tell you
Just
to
for him to
do.
listen and do what we say.
So wait a minute. Where's our weapons at this point?
Your weapons are behind lock and key on a wall.
Great.
God.
I mean, you guys could still technically have stopped him to ask for that, but
I wanted to.
then you can, yeah, definitely. If he's on his way out of the building.
Okay.
What-
So
what-
Solis
what was
Solis
that?
busts the door open and run. Before he closes, he stops it. He says, "Hey, I know you're about to go on a little mission here, but we kind of need our weapons just in case something happens."
What was that door open before?
What door?
That door.
The cell?
Cypress looks
The
over
cell
when she says
door.
this.
You notice the door
Pretty sure
ajar.
it wasn't.
It probably has a 4 or 5 inch gap, where previously it was closed tightly to the wall.
No, it.
Solis is just like
No, it.
Looks like
give us our
we
weapons.
hit our
Did you
first-
say nodded?
Yep,
Yeah.
our first luck reroll there, so that's now available to you guys.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Can I have my weapons? Can I have my bow? I need it.
He looks to you and is fine, and he throws his keys. It's just a small hang of keys. It's on like a leather cord.
All right, catches it. He's like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think things are gonna go well in a few minutes. So I'm going to get this. And if we have any light source, we need to go around here and see if there's any trap doors or something. I think Mogar, a big, hefty, gigantic thing of a man orc, is going to just disappear out of nowhere. So he takes the keys and he starts to go towards the lock.
I kind of follow him over there to get my club and my
Like watching that
awkward.
door.
Sure. You collect your weapons easily enough. You manage to bring the multi-wooden bars back over the top. It's obviously it's something that you guys could have broken, but it's easier having keys up to this point. You can return the brass fixture back to its closed point. You can leave the keys if you'd like, or you can keep them on you.
I'm keeping them.
keep him on us.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose them.
No, I have like a pouch in the back. I have like pouches. So I slip it in one of my pouch.
Sounds good. Then
Then
you're
I'm looking around.
you're
And I'm
left
gonna go
to the
into
prison.
the cell
okay.
and touch around. I'm just
Okay, I was gonna use my Sturge Proboscis to like try poke the door open without going near it.
Solis has got it. He's got it.
You
I
could
got
do that instead.
So you pull open the jail door, and it leads to a series of locked rooms. This is a small town. They haven't exactly needed many cells. There are only 3. You're familiar with the furthest to the right. It's the 3rd cell. 2 of the doors are open. The 3rd, the one you're most familiar with, is closed.
okay. Solis looks around. He's like, well, looks at the one to the far right. Hello, my love. It's been a while since I've been inside you. And then he looks at to the other 2 and looks back at Cypress. Takes a deep breath. He's like, I guess I'm gonna be point man now that Mogar's not around. I think he does have the most HP out of the group too. So
Yeah, that's fine. You go right ahead.
I nod to you because I'm like, yeah. You visibly are like younger and fitter than me, so yeah.
I'm just like peeking around, like, yeah, you're good. Okay.
So takes a deep breath. Now, do the keys that we have unlock this door, or not? Because he throws his keys, right? It's like all his keys.
That's a good question.
There are multiple keys on there. Some of them are fitted to various types of locks, but you would guess that the locking mechanism is a large, like wrought iron lock on the door itself. Probably similar to the key that you've just used,
Okay.
So you should be able to enter just fine.
So he tries it, opens it, looks back, winks, and goes inside.
You know that there is a door swing. It's an exterior door swing, so you can peer inside. Did you want to do that, or are you just going to open up the door and walk in?
Oh, no, let's peer.
Okay. When you peer inside, you see what looks like Mogar is sitting, his head down, his hands brought up to either side of his face. He seems to be in mild rock. You cannot see his face, but you can see his body.
Okay. I'm like, Mogar. Hey, big guy. Hey, guys. Just come over here and look at this.
I kind of walk up behind Solis, and I see Mogar, and I just kind of watching, just kind of like I'm just kind of letting Solis take lead.
Okay.
Like peering around the door.
Well, he looks back at Cypress and he's like, well, I know you've been doctoring a lot of people, so I guess it's my turn. So he goes in slowly towards Mogar. He doesn't know what state he's in. He doesn't know if he's about to rage or grab or anything like that.
When you begin to pull the door open to you, because it's not like it has a handle on it, right? It's just got a lip on it, so you can kind of pull it forward. And when you pull it forward, you hear the creaking of the wood just kind of nestled into its stone archway. But you hear this befouled whine from the back of the cell as well. You hear this like,
Okay.
Nope.
So
Mogar, it's not the time for that right now.
Yeah. So Solis tries to inch his way inside. Looking back at Cypress, keep that door open just in case I have to bolt out.
When you begin to peer into the room, Mogar seems entirely fine. But the moment that your hoof just tests past the front line, the threshold of the door, there is a visible wall, what almost looks like water, this dampening that you can feel kind of sate your hoof and ankle. Do you pass by this veil of water?
Oh, hell no. Like, he feels it, he's like, whoa, that was weird. Something's not right here.
When you pull back abruptly, there is a ripple over the top of this veil on the threshold of the door.
Okay. So if it has a dampness or wetness, I'm like, Symarra, I need you over here.
Yeah, that's pretty. Do I need to roll knowledge arcana for see if I know what this is, or
You can try.
or if I can, if it's safe to go through? Okay.
Do it.
Yeah, I've seen this before. Where have I seen it before, Bob?
Symarra,
Have I seen this before?
Symarra, this looks almost like it's some kind of living veil. It's a permeation of magic that's taken form, and it's obscuring the vision. Imagine something that you may use to sort of take all the rough edges off. But in this case, it's entirely shifting what is behind this threshold wall.
So is this like a complete wall? Like, are we seeing like... I'm having a hard time imagining what this looks like. So there's a doorway, and as you start to pass through the doorway, he felt a dampness on his hooves, is what you're saying?
Imagine like looking into the top of a glass of water, and when you press it with your fingertip, how it kind of ripples out. Instead of being horizontal, it's a vertical wall.
Okay.
Like a really still pond.
Yes.
So Solis does. So Symarra knows what it is. And does she have an idea, or she knows what it is?
Well, she stopped. So
Okay.
you can continue your description, Symarra.
So Solis looks back, takes a sigh, pulls an arrow out of his quiver, and he pierces it slowly. Then puts it in and lets it go to see what happens.
In your vision, when you begin to place it through, you see the ripples of the water kind of trickle away to the side. And when you place it in and you drop it, visibly you can see the arrow fall. You hear it connect with stone on the opposite side.
Is it fast drop or slow?
It's fast.
Okay, well, good news is this isn't like water, it seems. I mean, it visually looks like it, but when the arrow passed through, it just dropped. Bad news is, I don't know what the hell it does. It's
We don't
inanimate.
know what is on the other side of this, Solis. It might not even be Mogar. It could be
Can
anything.
can I roll perception on the arrow? We can see the arrow, right,
Yep,
on the
you
other
can-
side?
You can, in fact, still see the arrow.
Okay. I am no longer high, also, and I am out. So I am going to actually be at a negative for my perception
Sure.
from now on. But I'm still have insane perception because wisdom, but it's not going to be as badass as it normally is. Oh, boo. That sucks.
You need to smoke.
Yeah, man, I'm a little hazy right now, in not a good way. I'm
Cypress,
just tired, hazy.
you...
Yep.
What exactly are you trying to spot?
I'm just trying to see if anything happened to it. Did it, you know, did the properties of the arrow change at all going through?
Arrow
the
does not
surface
change, but when you glance back up, the ripples over the water distort the image of Mogar. And it doesn't look the same anymore. It doesn't look as if he's sitting there. However, when it goes still again, he's back to a sitting position.
Okay, I gotta have an idea. Okay, so this might be us looking in at where Mogar is right now. I don't think Mogar is actually here. Do you have anything long or anything that we can try to poke him with? It might be a bad idea.
I kind of just put my hand on my chin, you know, and my stubble's starting to come in quite a bit because it's been a couple days now and we haven't even had time to really relax.
Yep.
And so I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm just kind of looking at it, and I realize in that moment like how out of my depth I am, like just how crazy things are, and really I just look at Solis and I'm just like, you know, man, I don't know. Like,
Okay.
I don't like, I'm just kind of like, I suggest that maybe we wait for the wizard. You know, he is going to be here soon. Maybe he'll know more.
With my roll, does Symarra know how to, like, cancel the effect out of this magic veil? Or can I roll to see the truth behind it or something?
Typically in this situation, you may be aware that you could peer beyond, but it would take you visibly passing through it.
Right.
You don't really know what's on the opposite side, but what would Symarra do granted her intoxicated stance?
You sobered me up, actually. With
Oh,
courage.
you did. She is sober.
Oh, that's right, I
So
did.
she's sober now.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Sobered you up. Perfect. It was just a quick touch, like, stab
Because
that.
I tried to eat a bunch of bread. I was like, right,
Right.
eat some bread.
Yes.
Oh, pancakes.
I have an idea.
Yep.
I have some rope. I'm tired of waiting on this town. Every time we wait on somebody, something happens to one of us. I've grown pretty fond of the big guy. I want to tie a rope around my waist. Take a chance. Go through this thing.
You wanna go in there?
I mean,
Yes.
if we keep waiting, what if something happens to him? I couldn't live with that.
What if something happens to both of you?
We'll have a rope. Pull as hard as you can.
You hear again from the rear side. This time, there's a noticeable burble, like liquid.
Okay, I as soon as I hear that and like what Solis said, I'm like, damn, he's right. Let's just go. And I just try to find some rope as fast as possible. I believe we all have
I have
that rope
some.
on us, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So okay, I grab the rope and I'm looking for somewhere to tie the rope onto, like the wall, something sturdy, like really sturdy.
Tima.
Is there anything like maybe the bars or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
from one of the other cells?
You
No
totally
bars
can.
right next to us.
You can use the
Yeah, okay.
the door.
I wrap it up just to get an anchor,
Sure.
and then I toss him the rope, and I tell him, you know, man, I will pull, you know, as soon as you need me to. I tell him to tug the rope 3 times if he needs to be pulled, if he can, because otherwise, if it moves, I'm just gonna start pulling. Like, I'm sorry, that didn't make much sense. If the rope starts going crazy, if it's not a systematic like 1, 2, 3, you know, to let me know. If it just starts waving crazy, like you're being grabbed by something, I'm gonna pull that shit back. But that's your way. That's your way of telling me you want to go back is the 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
I just want to check what mage armor does, and I might put it on.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you for mage armor.
I was gonna be like, okay, well, at least have this if it's helpful for like.
Can you cast mage armor on another person?
You can. You can.
Oh, okay.
It essentially what it does is it forms magical armor. It takes and occupies the slot of armor. That's why it works best for wizards and sorcerers, because they don't wear armor. So
I have pretty good armor.
If Solis is wearing
+4 armor bonus to AC.
Yeah, if Solis is wearing armor, then they don't stack, unfortunately.
Okay, well, it's no point because I have good armor on. All right, well, if something happens, it's been good. He always jokes around that way. I don't think people like it, but he just does it.
I just nod to you, and I just let you know I'm ready there.
So he takes a deep breath. And he puts one hand in starts to put his hand up to it.
I'll be right back, guys. Sorry.
Sure. When you place your hand up to the placid wall of water, it seems to lip at your palm, where it begins to ripple outward away from your hand.
So it's pulling away from me?
No, it's like it's sort of like
hitting a surface of water.
That's right.
Okay.
Stay a while and listen.
So he takes a deep breath. He holds it because he doesn't know if this is actual like liquid or not.
Sure.
So, and he kind of steps in really slow, puts his hoof in his arm at the same time.
The moment that you begin to pass through the water, you feel that on the opposite side, it's dry. There's just a small veil. It's a few centimeters, maybe a few millimeters at best, of this water wall. It's like just breaching the surface. Okay. When you begin to pass through, you feel it kind of copes over your face, and it's like you're emerging from like the bathtub, like you've kind of submerged yourself. And you feel the air kiss your lips and then your eyes. And as you kind of open your eyes and look to the opposite side, you see that it is a completely empty cell. Give me a perception.
Okay, I'll give you the perception. Where is it? I should know this by now. Okay, it's 3. All right. Score 1. Yep. 1d20 plus 3. Come on, baby. Oh, I don't know.
That's not bad. Solis, you can't see Mogar at all. It doesn't even seem like he's here whatsoever. When you glance back, you can see the rope is still breaking the veil. But on the opposite side, it just looks like water. The vision starts to fall off, almost like you're just hovering above a placid lake or pond.
Whoa. So the cell's breaking up?
It does seem that way. It doesn't seem like the wall is immediately there.
Okay, am I stepping on anything solid or I'm hovering?
You are, I mean, you're currently walking. Like, it's not the entire cell. It's just the wall face that you've come through.
Okay. Oh, okay, got you. So where am I right now? I'm in the cell, but not the one that we saw.
No, you're in the cell. You're convinced that you're in the cell that you were naturally in previously. The only difference is that the wall that you stepped through is made almost seemingly entirely of water, and Mogar's not there.
Okay, and I can't see them through it.
You cannot. You will note that it smells of pond and rot.
And rot?
And rot, yes.
Oh, shit. I know where we are. Oh.
Huh.
Dear God, I hope I'm not in the... So Solis is thinking to himself, only other place he knows that smells like that is that place that they jumped over, they crossed by the prison.
Firestone.
Yeah. So he kind of goes, oh shit. Do it.
Can we hear him say that?
You don't actually see, you don't see Solis in the room. Once he passes by his arrow, it seems as if he fades out. He's no longer in the room. However, the arrow still remains, and so does the rope.
Okay.
So I'm like, Solis! But shouting, I don't want to shout in my microphone. Solis!
So I'm guessing I can't hear anything.
You kind of do. It's just, it
okay.
almost sounds like...
Muffled underwater?
Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like.
Gotcha.
Muffled underwater, like someone's yelling at you from above.
Okay. So he kind of looks around, looks down at the ground, kind of like, uses his hoof to see if it's like stable. Feels that it is.
Feels pretty stable, yeah.
In his mind, he's thinking, I could keep going a little bit more. Have an answer before I bring the others in. Don't want to endanger them. So I think I have a... Is it dark or is it visible in here?
It's pretty well lit. I mean, the room that you're previously in was lit. Plus, you can see in the dark, so that doesn't really matter too much.
All right, I wanted to make sure because I know my vision is not far out if it's too dark. So he kind of goes forward a little bit more, trying to like smell the air, even though it reeks. Tries to feel around, like in the airspace of the room, because right now he just does it. He's really freaked out.
Yeah, as you begin to sense the air, something lingers on your audible senses. You almost hear something from the rear side of the room, like it's behind you, yet it's all around you at the same time. These rattlings of what sounds sort of like chains.
Oh shit! All right, Solis' hair stands on end. He's peaked. He's at his. He's almost at allowing his senses to kind of completely take. A second. As his senses completely take over, he just stands there and waits.
A few moments pass by, 20, 30, 40 seconds, and then you notice something. The rear wall moves, much like the wall you just passed through. At first, it's a small ripple. And then you visibly see something pass through. It was quick. You didn't quite catch it.
Okay. He pulls a rope. He pulls a rope 3 times. And he's
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
He pulls the rope 3 times because he's like, okay, this is in his mind. What he's thinking is, if he gets caught alone with a rope, he doesn't have his agility. He's very, very nerfed at this point. And he's seen enough. And he wants to bring the rest. Either we're going to discuss with the rest of the group if they want to come in together or wait for the wizard at this point. But at least he can explain to the wizard what's going on.
Okay, Cypress, Symarra, you feel a yank on the cord.
Do we feel 3?
Just one yank? Oh.
Actually, I'm yanking like a crazy person. I don't think Solis will sit there and just be like,
let's go.
I think he's kind of like, holy shit.
So the rope just starts flailing in my arms? Like,
definitely.
Okay, I start pulling as soon as
Sure. Let me get one last perception from you, Solis. It's not going to take a lot.
Okay. Oh, God. Can
That's
I reroll
fine.
that?
Yeah, you totally can. Go for it.
Oh, all right. How many rerolls do we have? Just one?
Right now, it's just one. Right now, it's just one.
Wow.
The 2 into the 1. Oh, that's good.
Use desperation.
Desperation
is...
All right, let's do it.
Desperation is still supposed to be used when you're desperate.
Oh, yeah, we're not really desperate right now, guys.
No, the other game's been really fucking us. I heard that they used it like 40 times on Monday. I don't want to...
You heard wrong. I don't know who told you that, but they've lied to you.
How many desperate dice have you got right now?
I have 11.
There you go, 11. May as well make it 12.
And how many of those are from us?
Probably half of them.
Like 6.
You remember that one day that Ella was super drunk and he was like, fuck everybody, use desperation.
Yeah, that might have been me. That might have been me.
Remember one day he got 300 subs, Yeah.
And didn't give us the rerolls that whole time.
It doesn't matter. It was only for that one show. Okay.
Solis,
Yep.
as you're being pulled back, you feel the rope tug, and it pulls your body to the side because they abruptly tug you back out of the room. The moment that they do, they pull you back, and as you're going through the veil of water, this surface, Mogar erupts from the wall. He has iridescent green and blue chains binding his face, his open mouth, his arms, his chest, and you hear this, "Urgh!" and it pulls him back under the water.
And Solis, and Solis at this point is like trying to reach out for him at the same time. I guess he misses. He's really emotional about it right now. Like, not like crying, like not like boo-hooing, but he's like angry crying. He's like so pissed right now. Just snaps. Because he's had enough of this place. He's just had enough seeing people. He's starting to care for certain people, which is hard for him because he was one of those people that just didn't care for anybody. He's already upset that he's getting like feelings for this group, and on top of that, he's just really sick and tired of seeing Mogar go through shit.
Well, you've just seen Mogar somehow bound in chains try to erupt from whatever binds him. A figure was behind him, but you missed a large portion of the details.
Poop.
A large portion, but not all of them.
Stupid 4. Like, what is that?
You have a silhouette of the individual, but you couldn't quite see any of the details.
Clearly, he's not a good person, so...
You're tugged back through. Cypress, Symarra. On the opposite side, Solis is reaching outstretched, trying to grab at someone or something. He seems visibly upset, his face contorted in anger, borderline rage. I'm going to open this up. This roleplay is your guys. Go have it.
So Solis is as he says, just pissed. Rage, still holding his hands out and like kind of clutches a fist and he closes his eyes and he's just kind of like got a tear coming down. Really upset.
I assume that when we pull him through, he kind of, falls into us maybe. And I sort of try to catch him and I immediately see that he's upset and I'm just like, what happened, man? What happened? I'm just trying to get as much information out of it as possible.
Okay, so he's like kind of shaken up. He's like, okay, the veil is it's like some sort of portal of some sort. I guess I can only explain it. Once you go through, it feels like you're in the same area. Then it kind of starts to make this fantasy feel to you. It's like a dream almost. It smells, reeks of rot and it's kind of like wetness, maybe swampy almost. And then I heard some chains. So I posted up, closed my eyes, and let my senses take over. It got louder. And then I felt something. My hair's on end. Something just came through. I felt like it almost brushed up against me, so I freaked out. Wanted to be pulled back, and then at the last minute, there's Mogar, chained up like an animal. Something pulling him. And I couldn't save him. I'm sick of this fucking town.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna be like, is in there? Or what? Where is it? Where's Mogar?
I kind of look at you, and I'm making eye contact with you, Solis, and I'm like, man, is he in trouble? Should we go back in?
He's in pain. Seriously pain. You should have seen it. It's chains everywhere. Across his eyes, his body. He's like screaming for help, and we don't see Mogar like that. And we got to do something, Cypress. Man.
I look over at Symarra like in a, hey, you ready? Like, you ready to go in?
I do major armor myself. I'm like, let's go get Mogar.
All right. I'm ready to go back in. I look over at Solis. I was like, I kind of put my hand down to him, like to help him up. And I'm like, you think you could manage to go back in, man, with a little help?
With everything I've got, we're going to save Mogar.
I feel so bad for Nyx right now. I'm like, dude, we're getting the team together, and I'm like, oh, and we grabbed Nick's. Oh shit, Nick.
He's dragging me along. I'm like dying with bandages. We're like, come on, Nick.
So you guys are making these plans to immediately jump back through to save Mogar.
Yeah, I was gonna say, should we check on her?
You hear the door actually behind you open up the rest of the way, and Bart has returned. A folk-eaten fellow has returned with him. He seems rather upset that he was awakened in the late or early hours of the day. And he still kind of wipes at his eyes, makes sure that he puts on his spectacles. And he seems to address you, each of you, before he realizes whom he's speaking with.
Hi.
You again. Why you woke me for this? The cursed few, yes, yeah, they've come to this town and they seek Harrowstone. They do not seek me.
Oh, seek Harrowstone? We'll leave this stupid town. You're the one that knows about it. With the runes and the I don't teach that anymore.
Solis kind of puts his hand over Symarra's mouth right now because he's like really agitated. Our friend is behind this thing, and I hope you can tell me what it is. Because if you can't, I'm going in after him.
So this old guy is saying that he's not concerned because whoever's here is not for him. Is that what I'm gathering?
It's not so much that he's not concerned because it's not for him. It's you.
Us.
You yeah, correct. It's particularly about you guys. You came asking. Well, not so much you, Ello. You were gone that particular session.
Yeah.
But you, the rest of your allies, they basically came in full demands of information about things.
It's nicely, and Nyx complimented him, and then he kicked us out. With a magic rune of goodness.
How old is he?
A storm with that man.
He's venerable. He's not quite geriatric. He's not a Jerry's kid, but
heckin' old.
He's pretty old.
But he's definitely AARP card holder.
Oh yeah. Oh definitely.
Okay.
At some point, when we showed him the rune that was under the bed, he said, "I don't teach that anymore," or something along those lines. And I was like, "Anymore?" And he just kind of was like, "Okay, you guys need to go now." And he kind of gave us the rune on the back of our necks. He's like, "Yeah, this is not ideal." I can't exactly remember what he did, but he was saying he didn't want us to go to the orphanage magic place in case we drew evil there, and people come to Harrowstone to like try and find power or something.
So there's a lot of details that you're missing. Before I don't want Ello to jump to jump to conclusions here. He teaches at a place called the Unfurling Scroll. The Unfurling Scroll, while you're in town, and you probably would have gathered this based off of the information they've given you, but the Unfurling Scroll is essentially an orphanage for the quote-unquote lucky few children that have lost their parents. And he gives them the tools to grow up and survive, even if they lack the physical efforts of a raw adventurer. He teaches them runic magic to get them started. He's a wizard. They learned last time. I
know her magic works.
They learned last time when they spoke with him that he worked for a larger academy before he retired. He's come here for one reason or another, and he's seen many people, much like all of you, come seeking power or vengeance or fame, each of them to fall victim to Harrowstone. And he's not going to play into the exploits of a few rogue adventurers just because, and he bid them farewell and marked them to stay away from the Unfurling Scroll, because they would bring pain and plight alike to the children that have already suffered as much as they have.
Alendro.
So we got along real great. Okay.
He wasn't too bad, to be honest. He was suspicious of us, though.
He was very suspicious.
And then he looked at Mogar's memory of like what he's done so far.
You know what, Solis, or I should just say DJ, I feel like this is more in your realm. I feel like you just got to plead with this guy. Like, you got to tell this guy the situation, give him give him the business, tell him what's going on, be, use that diplomacy and see if you can convince this guy to
this shit.
Yeah. So you can get this guy to help us out, All
right.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're not here for riches or fame or anything. We were here for Petey.
That's right.
So.
All right. So Solis turns around, looks over his shoulder, looks at the wizard, walks towards him, as calm as he can. Look, people in your village are dying. You seem to very much care for those children. They could be dead soon too if this keeps occurring. Everyone's turning a blind eye to it. But finally, it wakes up when something happens to him. We losing our friend here. Just as much as you guys want us gone, we want to be gone. We didn't come here to start anything. We didn't come here to raise hell. We came here on the need of a friend, fulfilling our duty, so to speak, to repay him. As fast as you want us out, is as fast as we want to be out.
I don't care if you stay in this godforsaken town. It's none of my business whether you come or go. What matters to me now is that the children of the unfurling scroll are taken care of. And Bart here, the newly appointed sheriff, says that it is my duty to this town, which I would frankly disagree, that I must educate ne'er-do-wells.
Oh, so the children. What if something happens to your children? Not by us, but by forces darker, stranger, that don't care for anything of the living.
My premises are protected against the likes of those.
Oh, is it? That's what we thought. Do you notice what's happening here? Strange things happening more and more. People getting possessed. Whether your runes are there or not, they find a way. It always finds a way.
I have not protected every building in this town. In fact, I like very few of them. They do what is best for them, which is leaving me the hell alone.
Okay. So I have a choice here. 2 ways this can roll out. Solis is already on snap mode right now.
It's true. It's true.
So he could either grip this guy by the collar and throw him in front of that veil or throw him through it. Or he could arc use diplomacy. I could do both, actually.
You can.
Let me ask you.
Let
me ask you what's higher?
My diplomacy is high as I don't know what.
His diplomacy is very high. It's spec'd.
Yeah.
He's spec'd particularly for diplomatic solutions. So in this particular case, Solis, you know that you have been tried and true, very keen at speaking to people in the right way. You convince them through means of either manipulation or pleading to their to what is utmost and important to them. So you just have to identify what is important to this particular character.
Yeah. Well, what's important to him is the children. So I guess I can go with an intimidate.
Intimidate could work, but he's not at a point where he seems intimidating. You got to look at this. You have a satyr fighter, a burly ass druid, and a dragon woman with the sheriff that's pulled this old man out of his bed. He's not shaken by you. Read your audience in this case, and this man is not shaken. In fact, he likely, by the way that he steps at this point, he feels like he's got the upper hand.
Okay. Well, I'll try to pull a sensitive point with the children. He seems to not care. so
reason with him. Use your diplomacy and reason with him.
I have to find out what
exactly.
Okay, got you. So, all right, what you're telling me? You seem like a man that's lived a long time. You don't seem to care about anything around here but his children. What else do you actually care about? What can be taken away from you that you actually feel fearful? Do you have any feelings at all?
I'm afraid there's not much left still in this town or even in my life that I care for more than the lucky few that I have protected.
Oh. Have you ever had a loved one?
Many. I've seen them come and gone.
Oh, so there wasn't just one that stuck around. Something happened to them, or something must have happened to make you feel the way you do.
That's for a story in another time.
Oh, but is it? Seems like we have plenty of time. Just look. Whatever was to happen to you and your loved one, you can prevent a lot from happening. That won't be the same. Just give me a chance. Just help me just once. I'm not asking for much. I just need to know what we're dealing with here.
Give me a diplomacy.
Okay. I'll do 1d20 plus 8.
Yep.
Plus 8.
Okay. You hear him kind of mull it over. His jaw kind of falls slack for a moment. And what do you have to gain from this? This town has done nothing for you and yours. Why now?
Well, I'm just sick of seeing people die. And he kind of looks at him. His anger kind of like shifts into like almost brief sadness. I'm just sick of it. I lost half of my kinfolk. I come here just to do a favor, and so much has happened. And I see those kids running around. It reminds me back at home when our little, well, I guess you could call them kids in your language, were just taken away from us. Some even killed by so many strange things happening. I want to kind of make a difference, you know? Just as much as you want to protect those kids, I want to too. They are the future.
Cypress,
I
go ahead.
speak up from behind him. I speak up from behind him and say, and for Petey, man, that's why I'm here. I'm here for, I think you knew him as Petro.
Petrus, yes. Petrus Lowball. He is one of the few good men of this town. He did well. He educated the people. He lifted them. He elevated these commoners. And I believe that was important. My family.
And he elevated all of us, too, man. Like, I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I just, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you
No. This is good. No, that's good.
No,
that's how it would be.
He raised us up too, man. We were all very close to him in our different ways, and I'm kind of looking around everybody. And when he passed, he asked us something of us, and all of us felt compelled to listen and to help. And you can start to see the tears start to come in Cypress' eyes. He was my friend, man. He was my very, very close friend. And he wanted us to help this town.
He chose all of us for a reason.
Pet Cypress.
You know? Like, I don't trust many humans. But that's one person that I never really told him that. I would almost die for him. He struck something in me. And he struck something in all of us. We're complete strangers. This chain that bonds us. You gotta help us.
Give me a new diplomacy, and Cypress and Symarra, give me a sense motive.
Sure.
Can I reroll
You definitely can. We have a second luck reroll, and we're pretty close on followers and patrons at this point.
Give me the follows. I got a bad feeling about this roll. Okay, never mind.
Ooh! Wow. Ooh, kill him. Nice job.
Wow.
My sense motive was 9.
Okay, and Ella, what did you get on... Okay,
15.
Cypress, you can see that you struck a chord. Looking at each of you, saying that that Petrus has had some kind of profound impact on your lives. He's likening himself in a situation to Petros, and he sees each of you as his pupils, not as his own, but as Petros's, and he can see that there. He pauses for a moment. Very well. Very well. It's
Stay a while and
it's very late, and the time is nigh. If this is, we'll need a table, and I'll need to know everything. Absolutely everything. Please bring everything. A light, sconce, lantern, please.
Here's my notes.
Awesome. How long would it take us to show him everything? I mean, we're talking the haunt siphons to the proboscis to telling him the whole story. How long is that going to take us if we were to sit down and do that with him?
It's probably going to take him at least half an hour to go over all of the work. Because you guys have done and you found a lot in this town, right? Like, it's not just one or two things. You have uncovered, for instance, you uncovered a veritable trove of fighting the undead threat in this town. And Bart even brings that up. He's like, what of all of the things that you found inside of the crypt, the mausoleum?
Oh, all these? I open up my bag. Like,
All right, so we're getting all okay. So Solis takes out his arrows.
You can see, like, Alendru's like, he's kind of like backpedaling. He's like, wow, all of this. You.
Oh, and the others that Solis has the arrows and Cypress has the siphons.
Do we still have the panties?
Do we still have the panties? Yeah, that's a real question. I love that.
And
that's a
we
real
lost the planchette. Gabe took them back.
So
Gib, wait, where are they then? If Gib took them back,
Probably wearing them.
definitely not wearing them.
Might have some ectoplasm
I don't know.
secretion on that. We need to.
so I just, I'm sure we're all taking our turns in our own separate spots, filling in as we do. But we tell him everything. We show him everything.
Sure.
Can you tell me what these are? Like, I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I have it.
Well, I can see your hands, but I don't know what that is, so you have to ask him.
Well, I mean, will that work if I do it, for example?
Feasibly, he could roll off to determine exactly what it is. It's still going to take a little bit of work, but yes, definitely.
Let me just double check that we don't right now.
In the meantime, he informs you that you should gather your effects, the rest of your party, no matter their condition. And he waits. He waits to see if you have anything else that you say.
I'll go get Nix.
Okay, you're gonna go get Nix. I stay there with him, and I just kind of keep talking to him.
That's exactly why I wanted to do it.
I don't. It's not even. I want to impart to him that our sense of duty, obviously to Petrov, that we've already done that, but how frustrating and how difficult it is to get anything done in this town, because not only are we fighting the evil, the pure evil, we're also fighting the ignorance and I guess the ignorance is the best way. The ignorance of the town, or the preconceptions of the town. Like, that's our biggest battle right now is trying to get a united front here so we can then face what's in there. We're divided because there's no trust. And I explained that I understand that there's no trust. We're very new here and all this good stuff, but we can't be worse. We can't be worse than what's happening. We can't be worse than what's happening to everybody. So maybe even if it's unsettling, or maybe if it's even uneasy, to just be focused on forming an alliance and a united front against this evil, I think is really, really important. And Cypress feels that's important. So he is trying his best to, make that position known.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't really need to go through the items, because one of them that I was thinking about is a potion, but we know what they are. And the other ones that we don't know are all arrows.
Well, what are some things
you just want to identify them? Yeah.
What are some things that you guys are less informed about? Because I know that there's some things that you're like, yeah, this is cool, but what do we do with it?
Yeah.
We should really have an understanding of the soul siphon. Like, we only think we know what it does.
In our conversation, I just kind of, as I'm explaining things, I sort of, pull out one of, we've got two now, right, that are filled with haunts there, or whatever they are, the spirits. We opened one up, and I think we didn't get anybody like important or anything, but we definitely sucked the room, the thing that was in Nick's out, right?
Yeah.
Like, there was something in Nick's that we captured, and we just captured whatever was in the room earlier.
It wasn't Nick's, was it? I thought it was Kendra. Actually. Yeah, it was Kendra.
Yeah, the Piper man, and then we got his pipe.
Nick's was possessed as well, right? Oh.
I thought Nick's was possessed too. Maybe I'm wrong. I do know it helped. We'd have to go back and check, but I do know that I've got two haunt siphons that are filled.
In like the early episodes.
Well, that was when we first met the Piper, when I pulled the first one.
Correct.
So whenever that situation occurred, I think it was pretty early on. I think it was only like our third session or something.
That was Kendra.
Yeah, because she was getting all handsy.
Because she was like, touch my titties, and
Yeah, it was real sexy. But yeah, so either way, I show him these haunt siphons with these things and say if he, see what he knows about them, or their use, or if they could help, or whatever.
I'm going to go ahead and open these back up so you guys can remember what they are, each of you. There's the haunt siphon.
I keep calling it a soul siphon. It's definitely a haunt siphon.
It's like potato. It effectively does the same, just about the same thing.
Yeah. Let's see.
Show to players. Bam. Spirit planchette.
Is there like information somewhere that I should be?
There is information that I can pass to you guys. This is largely so everyone at home can see this as well. You begin asking him. I'm assuming that at this point that you'll go Solis and you'll get Nyx.
Yep.
Okay. Even in her condition, when you return, a small bench will be provided. Remember, she's not a very large person, but this should be fine.
Okay.
So, upon your return, he'll begin explaining these things and how they work. So first and foremost, the haunt siphons. The haunt siphons are essentially, in this case, like a vial. It's a casing that is designed to hold a churning vortex of air. But this air is something that deals with haunt energies. It's supposed to be like the Ghostbuster trap box. You can either use this while staying inside of the mandated threat of a haunt, which in cases is very different than a ghost. A haunt and a ghost is a very different thing. You'll find that out in due time. But this is, when activated, it deals 3d6 points of positive energy damage to a single haunt. If it deals enough damage to the haunt to reduce its haunt hit points to 0, the mist inside of the haunt glows green. If it does not reduce the hit points to 0, it's still expended and becomes non-magical. It may take multiple haunt siphons to destroy even the most powerful haunts. A haunt that is neutralized by a haunt siphon takes a -5 penalty on all caster level checks to manifest again after its time resets. So just because you've neutralized a threat doesn't mean that it can't be there further. It can still come back. A haunt siphon that neutralizes a haunt can no longer be used to harm haunts. However, it can be used as a grenade-like splash weapon, dealing 1d6 points of negative energy with a direct hit. Every living creature within 5 feet of that point where the haunt siphon takes its hit takes 1 point of negative energy damage from the splash, and there's a table that follows. I'm not going to tell you what's on that table, but you're throwing a bottled ghost.
Was it 1d6, did you say?
So I've been walking around with like negative energy grenades.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay. And we went on a roof.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and we went on a roof. Okay, cool.
It's really hard to write at first.
It's okay. You're not supposed to know absolutely everything about it.
Yeah.
I do now.
No, still not. We still don't know what it does after we throw it.
That's right.
Really.
Boosh.
So, what about the planchette? I talked to him about the planchette too, and I explained to him its properties, and even though we don't have it right now, I asked him if he knows anything about it.
So the planchette is designed to function with the board. It is allowed for you to open a connection to the spirit world and have them answer simple questions. It's just like what you would think of in the real world. But in this case, he says some very different things. So, you can use the planchette while viewing through the scope, which is that open central spot, the glass part. You can view through the planchette up to once per day per individual, and you can see spirits. It will last a single round. That's 6 seconds for you to take in absolutely everything. If you had a higher level, if you had per se a cold iron planchette or a silver planchette, it lasts longer. He says, there are things that the planchette will not only do to you, but will do to the undead as well. The things that you see, they see back. They look back unto you and they see your true visage. Not this husk you carry daily. There's more to you than meets the eye, and they can see past that point. You'll provide them with a small window to glean unto your soul, and it can deal irreparable damage. You may even be providing them the door they need to possess your very person. But, in that time, you'll be able to discover much about them. Perhaps what may even be their unfinished business in the world, rendering them capable of leaving unto Pharasma's ward.
Ew.
So this is probably why you got possessed, Nix. This is probably probably. So any other negative effects associated? Like, what are that will roll? Is that what we're dealing with then?
Yeah.
When we look through it, is whether or not you're going to be possessed by a spirit because they.
Well, essentially, if you recall, I have a couple of sticky notes here that dictate the amount of times that you have used this. The more you use this, the greater the chance of negative things happening to you. You're essentially opening the door multiple times.
Huh. Yeah. That's
how many times we use it? Like once? Twice?
I can tell you right now, actually. Nyx has used it one time while focusing. Solis has used it one time while focusing.
I did?
Yes, you did.
Well, oh, right. For the barn fight, I guess. If I can remember.
Wrote it down immediately.
Is that it? Is that all we've
Ain't getting my bub.
Correct.
Thank goodness nothing possessed me yet. Thank goodness.
Well, yeah. Did you fail that roll though?
No, I don't think I didn't fail it.
No, he passed.
Okay. All right. So it could take its sweet time. If you would have failed that roll and you hadn't been possessed yet, it's like
living inside of me.
Yeah, it could happen in a second. Well, that's good to know. Then after I ask him about a couple of these objects that I happen to have around, if anybody else wants to ask about their objects, they can. I ask him how he knows all this. And I know that he had already sort of mentioned kind of briefly his past. I just want to see if he'll share with me why he understands all these items.
There's many things that you may learn when you go under the right tutelage. And in my case, I studied at one of the most prestigious wizarding colleges in Galarian. In my case, I actually am one of the provided names under construction of the cold iron planchette. We used it.
Wait, he made the cold iron planchette?
Yes.
Wow, he made one. Damn.
It was used to communicate with demons.
Oh, wow.
What did they say? It didn't work.
He leans in.
Jeez.
Many nasty things.
I don't like this guy. Like, damn. This guy might be old, but to make an artifact like that, that's the thing.
He's pretty suspicious, man.
Well, not just suspicious, but like powerful. This guy, we're a group of essentially level 2s. You know, like I can see why he was unconcerned.
Yeah,
this automatically means he's a badass, but you know, he's old. We have no idea.
Right.
But I would imagine that the man who could make something like that, especially a better form of what we found, probably gotta, yeah. So I asked him about his relationship to Petrov.
Petros was a scholar. He was a hunter of many things. He was not afraid to go behind the wall of safety. His comfort lied with adrenaline. I was the sturdier sort. I stayed behind the books, but he did not falter when it came to going behind enemy lines. Petros was a bold man. He had studied many things, and he was well connected inside of the academic community. I only wished he would have lived longer. I believe that he would have educated many.
Was Petey? Sorry, man. I mean, Petrov was he any different, man, in the days leading up to the end?
The last I spoke with Petros, he seemed very anxious. His sleeping was not right, which was something he held very dear to him. It was much like his own safety net. He believed that a healthy sleeping schedule was pertinent to the success of the man. It's the simple things of that get us by day to day. Petros believed that there was something awry in Ravengrow. Something wasn't quite right. That Harrowstone was under the siege and control of a long-dead threat. The Whispering Tyrant. I don't believe that. No, I don't believe that, because the Whispering Tyrant has been dead for many years. What would bring back the boogeyman?
The hell is that?
And this Whispering Tyrant, he typically whispers things.
You guys,
such as
Don't we like
you
generally
guys
know?
You guys know about
Nothing.
the Whispering Tyrant. So backstory, which was told to you in the beginning. It's been a while still.
yeah.
The Whispering Tyrant is an undead leader that led a regime of undead across all of Golarion and actually took control of most of Golarion. He's a mega badass that nearly wiped out the living as you know it. It was only due to the pairing of magic and the equivalent of the Crusade that managed to wipe out the undead threat.
And his followers are called the Whispering Way.
That's right, the Whispering
They
Way.
don't write things down.
Everything passes on rumor, on word of mouth.
So this guy that is whispering to us that he owns us, is this not the Dark Whisperer? Is this some other
Wait, someone
nefarious voice?
speaks to you.
Yeah, I explained to him that we were just spoken to, actually.
And had a couple of visions as well.
That's what he says. He owns us, whatever.
Yeah,
No. The Whispering Tyrant is long since begotten. Is no longer of this land. I'm afraid that if you heard something, it may only be some sort of deceiver. Someone who has a bit of self-inflated ego.
How sure are you, man? Could you be wrong?
I can tell you this. If the tyrant himself walked these lands, you and I would not be breathing. We would have withered to become the mulch and decay under his footfall.
Or maybe he's weakened from
Yeah, I was
his...
gonna say, maybe he's not back
Whoa.
yet.
When I was in that veil, it smelled like rotten.
Because the what's the thing called that the like? There's like a thing that's spreading across the land and it's expanding.
The blight?
The blight. Is that not expanding?
It's not really expanding anymore. It's just that it's not gone away.
Okay.
It's like there was some kind of siphon on the land. All of the lush, this vibrance of the land was gone. It's like wherever he tread, decay and darkness befell.
Huh.
Okay, it's still spreading, so my point is invalid.
Am I still getting Nyx at this point, or are we back?
You guys would have already returned. It probably took that half an hour to kind of go over absolutely everything. So he looks down to Nyx, and he will remark at the hastened craftsmanship of the mending of her
Stay a
wounds.
while and listen.
We're not, it was a difficult day, and none of us knew what to do, and then Gib was possessed again, and it's not a good time.
Are
Don't
you
like
always
town.
this flustered? Will you just take a breath and sit down?
Vance freaks me out.
I asked him if he can do better, not in a mean way, but like, is there something is there something you can do to help her pain, man?
I may be able to do something.
I mean, at this point, I'm just like, hey, we've been as honest as we can with him about everything. We have no reason to lie. I am hoping to expect, if not 100%, 98% cooperation from him. I'm hoping,
I'm afraid if If I may be able to help her, it may come at a cost greater than my own worth. I must ask.
Wait.
What will each of you do? Now that you have these things, that you understand all this, what is your primary goal?
First, so Solis speaks up. He's like, first goal is to get our friend back.
And where is your friend?
In there, he points to the cell. I don't know if it's visible unless you walk over there or not. It's some sort of. Oh, go ahead.
He walks over,
walk over there together. Okay.
And he traipses his fingers over the top of the surface of this water, if you will, and you see like his fingers are, he's shaking as he's doing it, not out of fear, but out of age, rigidity. Time is not being kind to this man. When he sees it, he brings his hand up to his mouth, and then he draws from his pocket what looks to be like a small bit of coal or a sash of dried ink, and he'll bite his thumb very intensely when you see that, like, he actually tears the flesh. When he does this, he snaps it up, and he'll draw a straight line down one of the front of the bricks, and he'll start putting runes around this strip of blood. As he does so, he begins forcing some of his own energy into it, where the runes kind of come to light, and then as soon as he finishes, the veil of water immediately splashes to the floor. The arrow remains, but nothing is in this room. All that sits is a single chain link on the resting bench. That's it.
So wait a minute, he just broke the portal?
Yeah, it looks that way. Or he unweaved it, I guess, would probably be a better.
So it's kind of like looks like he knows it's a chain link, but he doesn't really like react to it. And he's like, "How the hell are we supposed to get back there now? Please tell me you have a way."
Where do you think it led to, boy?
It was weird. It was dreamlike state. Felt wet when you walked through it, but you dried instantly of some sort. Smelled of rot and wetness and strange sounds all around. It's like being some kind of bottle almost. You hear things going from left, right, then all around you at once. Heard chains. Some Mogar chained up like an animal. Some black veil looking creature, maybe a person. I didn't really see it all too well. Was being pulled back through. Was pulling him away from us.
So do you
Mogar
believe
seemed in pain.
You believe that this was a portal to another plane of existence?
I mean, yeah. I couldn't really see back behind myself. When I put the arrow through, the arrow fell through. When I walked through, it was different. The rope remained, but I was definitely somewhere else.
I don't believe that would take you to another plane. I believe that was a passage to Arrowstone. The water smelled the same.
When he was making those runes, did they look anything like there were runes in front of Harrowstone too as well, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Did they look similar? I want to talk to him about that. I want to explain to him what we saw and just kind of see.
They do not. They don't look the same, because if you recall, I believe Symarra actually scrivened most of those down, and this is where he saw what these runes actually were, and he told you what they were designed for. But in this case, they look a little different in their construct and in the style that it was sort of written. So he can tell you what it is. You probably even look a little concerned, but he looks back to you and he says, "It's a dispel, boy. It's to break the tithes of magic."
Well, we need to find a way. We have to go to Harrowstone at some point. The more time we stay here, who knows what's going on with him. How should we prepare for this?
Well, you gather your things, you knot up, and you go.
It's The old man just tells us to nut up. Okay, but more practically, what can he provide us as far as help in this endeavor?
I was really
Like,
about to
you
ask him
know,
to
like-
come with us.
We've told him all the
Yeah.
stuff about like everything, so he knows about the letter spelling out of Soriana, right?
So you guys haven't really said much about Visoriana up to this point. You spoke
Okay.
a lot of that to Bart, but not to this.
Yeah, it's just because
person.
in the catch up, like with everything, and also, I mean, if you want to look at Bart's back, there's something we are a little bit concerned about that you may know about.
Sure, they
Strip off, Bart.
he
Let's go.
lifts the shirt, and the old man will kind of look down. Alendru will see it, and he kind of shrugs.
Yeah,
He's been bleeding.
they
Were
keep,
you stabbed? Bart,
They keep appearing.
blood. That's what happens when you pierce flesh, lass.
Letters appear in blood often.
He drew the runes with his blood, I believe.
We've found most of Visoriana's name in various bloody places.
He kind of looks confused for a moment, and this is pertinent how?
Well, I'm just a little bit worried about that.
Because
I feel
some,
like
some
it's-
figure, an
there's
apparition
no
has
coincidences here.
taken an interest in spelling out someone's name.
The warden's wife who died in Harrowstone. Do you
I
think
mean-
that's kind of important? Probably.
That
maybe?
has much more significant importance, but I still don't immediately see why.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Symarra, show him Bart.
I mean-
Let's just looked at that.
Yeah, he saw the letters on his back.
Okay.
We're just a little concerned, after the visions and all of the
He steps
not
over.
accidental Harrowstone fire.
He steps over over to the table, and he kind of looks at Symarra, glancing back down. I don't understand why you wish to speak facetiously with me. I presume that I understand and know everything that is in your chicken scratch of a book.
You have to write quick sometimes under pressure.
Well, that's fine, but you may also relay the details and stop acting as if I absolutely know every fucking thing.
Okay. Thought you were super wise. And you...
No, I'm just old.
Well, I'm not that old, so... Sorry. Guess. Well, yeah, I just thought you might know, because you said... her magic, and then she was going to the prison, and... Okay. And I'm just like, pout.
I tried to kind of step in because clearly Symarra pisses this guy off.
I'm just like, okay, I'll just go.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. So, I just kind of step in and I explain the whole thing. I explain the wolf showing up. I explain Nyx being possessed and the letter we found there. I explain the runes that were under our beds, or our, that kind of thing. I just kind of give him the whole gambit as far as like the letters and the possessions are
Okay,
concerned.
all right. He kind of sits back for a moment, and he purses his lips, touching his bottom lip multiple times over and over again. And he begins pulling out, like, he's got a small side pouch that he's managed to fester up to his gown before he had to leave. And he starts pulling out what immediately looks like buds of a foreign plant. And he starts breaking it down in front of you. And he's got this rime paper, this rice paper that he has, and he kind of like begins to tossle it together, and he looks up. You don't mind if I smoke, do you?
Oh shit! Cypress is like, look at his lips and shit.
I just realized how close I could become to this man,
Right?
Like how good friends we could become all in one moment. And I kind of look at him, I look down, I look at him, and I say, well, man, only if you're sharing.
Do you know the plant, Cypress?
You see, as a druid, you can immediately identify, right? There's a pungence to it that you can immediately identify, and you're like, yeah,
I knew
man.
he was holding as soon as he walked in.
Yeah, definitely.
Smelled it.
I could smell. I knew he had. I knew he was packing. I didn't. It wasn't pertinent. It wasn't important right then.
Yeah.
But I knew. What's that? I smell some of that. That chronic.
He pulls.
Sweet ginger root.
that perp nerf. What's going on? with that?
He's gonna slide the parchment over to you. He's like, I trust that you know what you're doing. Go ahead and tidy that up. I wish to bring this small one back.
I nod and I get to work.
Sure. He
just the most fantastic blood.
He pulls like what looks to be a cord or a vine from his neck, and it tossles this amulet over the table, and it's a small like silver book. That's the amulet. It looks like a small silver book. And you note that there is a visible crack in the center of it. He's obviously pushed you to this task of finishing this stick. We'll say it's that. Yeah. He says, I can help your friend, but I must have some agreements. Well, if things turn awry, I would need someone to stay in the town to care for the children of the unfurling scroll.
Damn. Oof. Well, Nyx is definitely not in a condition to stay and care for anybody.
No, I think he means if something were to happen to him.
Yeah.
He would need the assurance that the children would be taken care of. Which, you know what? Like, just hearing that proposition is really great, because that means that he's like kind of all in, right? Like, he's considering at least being all into this whole thing. So that's nice to know. I mean, I just kind of sit in front of him, and I'm just taking a few puffs after I'm done rolling it. I light it up, and I offer it to him first.
Sure. He's got this, like, he moves his hand up to his face, and like the thumb nearly hits the eye. Remember, you're kind of working in a semi-darkened situation, but he has a very particular way that he does things. It's like not off the center, it's off to the side, and his face gets this like befuddled, disgusted look. He'll draw and hold for what feels like eternity before he exasperates, and you see him crack this silvery book of an amulet that he has. And he'll cut the cable that was used to tie it around his neck, making a much smaller cord. I'm willing to entrust this to the small one, but you must handle the threat of Harrowstone and all that resides of Ravengrow.
So he's wanting to do what now? He's wanting to give this to Nyx?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This amulet, okay. But he wants us to take care. But what about the kids? What about
That's what he's asking. He wants you to handle the threat, and if things go south, he'll need someone to help take care of the kids.
So he's saying Nyx right now to take care of the kids?
He's willing to help Nyx's character, Nyx up.
Oh, heal. I thought you meant he was willing to help with Mogar.
Oh, okay.
He's willing to like heal her up.
Oh, I thought you meant Mogar. I thought we were like, you were.
Yeah, that's how I understood it. And there's going to be like cost, he said to him, to do it.
Well, yeah, it's probably like taking some of his life away from him.
Okay, so.
Could you just imagine Nyx with a group of children?
Okay, so I'm a little confused. Are we saying that like he's going to help Nyx?
You can ask further,
and then he's going to.
If you want to know more, you can ask further about it. You're very confused about it.
Yeah, I kind of give him a queer look, and I kind of like what do you? I'm having a hold. He says, "Sorry, maybe hey man, sorry, maybe it's the atmosphere, but I'm a little confused, man. Like, what exactly are you proposing?"
I'm proposing that I will awaken your friend and potentially extending her life. But at the cost of mine own if she proceeds uncarefully.
So he's going to sacrifice himself to save her, and then
I think I have to live my life a little bit more carefully than I've been doing. I think if I die, are you linking our lives together? So if I die, he dies?
You're not
no,
sure.
He's literally, well, from what I'm gathering, he's going to die to extend your life.
No, I didn't pick that up.
Nyx,
I think
Nyx is a little bit closer to center here. When he says that, and you kind of look confusedly at him, he says, "This is from my mentor before he passed away. He called it the Book of Borrowed Time."
So Solis is like, wait a minute. If I'm understanding this correctly, is it, so if it's borrowed time, I mean...
Can I do a check to see if I know about it from...
Yeah, you can try, why not?
General. Why not? What would it be under?
Go ahead and give me a knowledge arcana.
Okay. +2.
You're not so sure. It could mean a lot of things, right? Like that could spell out a number of events, but in this particular situation, without him directly coming out and saying, indirectly you might believe that he is awakening and extending the life of Nyx, potentially at the behest of his own.
I just look at him and I just ask him how it works.
Well, it's a fairly simple process. So long as she lives, so will I. And if she dies, I will instead.
Oh, dear.
And in return, man, you want to make sure that someone's there to watch after the kids?
Listen, I've lived a long life, and the only thing that keeps me going is just a handful of smiles and this greenery I keep on my belt pouch.
I get that.
So Solis looks at Symarra really hard.
I'm kind of wondering about, does it work like the other way as well? So if he were to die, would Nyx die?
It's here, right?
But he seems mad at me for no great reasons. So I'm just like,
still ask it.
just question. Not to be impertinent, but what happens if it works the other way? What if you become dead first? What happens to Nyx?
Well, that won't happen, because I'll be in the confines of my own wards.
Well, I mean, in like 10, 30 years' time.
Well, hypothetically speaking, she steps away from this, and I get my amulet back.
Oh, so just while she has it, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what to make of this old man right now. Like, yeah, I mean, it's really Nyx's choice. Is Nyx conscious?
Nope. Once I place this cord around her neck, becoming a choker, it will immediately awaken her. She will assume some of my vitality. What little of it there actually is.
In Solis' head, he's like, do it. Because, I mean, to him, she's way more important than he is, secretly.
Yeah, but
then
we've
one
got
of us
to,
has to like agree for life to stay in Ravengrow then.
Symarra can do it.
Not necessarily.
She doesn't want to.
I mean, to be honest though, Symarra would be the best choice. Could you imagine Nyx running around with little children? She's basically a child. They wouldn't respect me at all.
Twerking wards and shit? Yeah, no.
And today is a magic show. Come on. Actually, that would be pretty wholesome.
Okay, so Solis says, you know what, Symarra, I think you're the best one to take over these children. I mean, they're sort of like eggs.
What are you saying here? I don't lay eggs.
I don't lay eggs.
Yeah.
Prove it.
I was a
Prove
child.
You know, I'm just sitting here, I don't know, just kind of out of character. Like, it's a little alarming that we're allowing a dude to put some magical item on our friend, even if it is to bring her back to life. That had no qualms in making a planchette, a cold steel planchette, and did create it. We're working with a guy who has a good understanding of magical artifacts, right? So my thing is, like, I mean, we just met this guy. He's been kind of resistant. Do we really want to trust him?
He gave us the nice non-possession runes that time.
He did. I'm just saying, like,
He said nicer before.
I'm just saying that there's a lot to be suspicious about this man, and when it comes to bargains, we might need to be very careful.
Oh, I see what you're doing. I feel like I see what you're on about.
Okay.
You're keying onto some certain words here that I'm like, I mean,
he has been very careful. Like beforehand, I wrote down he's suspicious and very careful of his words.
He actually
Cypress Cypress is wise, but he's not necessarily intelligent, right?
Sure.
So he's perceiving this, but he doesn't exactly know how to process it. So,
as Solis says, as you've suggested to Symarra that she could be the teacher and that maybe Nyx would stay, he actually chimes in. I was actually thinking that it might be you, boy. Looking over to Cypress.
Ooh,
You teach him how to roll weed, bro.
I reach over for the blunt.
Get a hit.
Yeah. He'll pass it back to you.
I take a hit, nice big hit. I kind of think for a second, and I kind of look over at him, just kind of staring off, just kind of thinking. And I look back over at him, and I just say, you know, I just ask, what would it entail? What exactly am I signing up for? What does he do? What is it that he does for them, and why does he think I can do it?
Well, while I may be old and my eyesight may not be as good as it used to be, I have witnessed many a thing happen in this town in the short time that you've been here. I've seen how each of you act intermittently with the others, and I've even scryed a few times to witness what you're like in your downtime. And Cypress, I will say that you are the most morally capable. I will go on to say that you are the least morally bankrupt. You're a guiding light in a darkened time. And this city falls under a darkness, and illness sweeps the land. And I saw into your past with a little digging of my own. And I know that you're a druid. You're from a much greener area, a highland. These children need to grow up and play in the woods, not some dawdling of sticks. The dying of the ground and the rot water that flows through it. Take them. Start your grove, boy. Teach them.
Ooh, shit. I was just thinking, like, as soon as you said that, I went, oh shit. I could start my own circle. Like, it could be a thing. That's
the covenant of weed.
No, the covenant of weed. Yeah, no. It's funny because as soon as you were saying, I was understanding the implications of it. But it's like, I just kind of sit back, dude, and I kind of think about it, and I keep smoking maybe a little bit more generously because I know that I got him on the ropes a little bit with my answer, so I'm just kind of taking a few more hits. After I would say after just a little bit of thinking, just mulling over. Let me make a roll here. Let me make a roll.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
This is gonna be kind of interesting. I'll say. I want a very low. I want a very low roll on this. So I'll go like 1 to 5. As long as I don't roll like 1 to 5, I'll pretty much accept.
Sure.
And I'll even use it's what I want for him, but I still like to live a little up to chance. Oh shit.
Okay.
Oh, shit. But I want to. It's kind of a weird thing that I'm doing here, but like I want my character to accept this, but I don't know. I have my re-rolls. It's kind of weird to re-roll on my own shit.
Sure.
But like I want to. So I'm going to do it. I don't care.
If you roll 1 to 5
how many
now,
re-rolls do you have?
We have 2 re-rolls total. If you re-roll a 1 to 5 now, then it's just fate at that point.
It's just fate. Yeah, it's just fate. So here we go. Okay. All right. It's saved because I did not want to do it. I want to do it, but I like to leave it up to chance sometimes just to see what happens. So yeah, I take a deep hit and I kind of lean over and kind of look over at him, and I say, you know what, man? I think I'm the man for the job. And then I kind of hand him over. I start to hand him back the blunt. I said, as long as you show me where you got more of that. and I give him a little wink too, like a kind of good-natured wink.
Solis kind of like sighs, and then his first time he smiled in like hours, and he says, "A bargain for a bargain."
A bargain indeed. I would be willing to show you, but I'm afraid that you might be very unhappy if I told you exactly where.
Did he take it from me? Did he take it from me when I first got there?
No, that
would make me unhappy.
This is a very different blend. He draws his bloodied fingertip up to his the side of his temple, and as he does, he kind of does this like wispy spin, and you can see that it's visibly creating like a small torrent of air, and then he lets it slide down his finger into his palm, and then he offers it to you.
Okay. Solis is definitely taken back. What the?
I mean, I reach out for what he's giving me.
He, with your open hand, he takes his left hand and he puts it on the backside, and then he puts it in your palm, and then shakes your hand. Like he grasps and he shakes tightly, and you immediately begin getting these visions that kind of pale over your mind, and you see them in waves at first, and then multiples of them are playing through and through. And it looks, each time that you blink, you see that it's a grave. It's actually a standing grave. It's very strange that he keeps tending to regularly, and it seems as if it's someone that's very important to him. And that's when you realize that he's growing this from a grave.
Ew.
That doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
That doesn't bother, and the reason it doesn't bother me is because, like, I mean, druids believe in the cycle of life. You know, like
right.
It's a little strange, maybe, where it's growing, but when you die, you die. Your body is dead. It becomes fertilizer, right? To give life to others, which then in turn gives life. It's a circle of life. So he doesn't. I don't think
Cypress. He does tell you. This is a little different than what you may expect. You may... forgive me, age is not as kind as I would like for it to be. I probably should have informed you that you may be getting visions of my time as a sexually flippant younger adult.
Oh, jeez.
Hot.
The memories of my previous lover are drawn with each puff.
Dude, you're getting visual porn with your puff.
So what am I seeing exactly? Is it the grave? Like,
what put her in the grave? Is his old man.
Old man dick.
Put him in a coffin.
Old man dick. Porn weed.
No, he basically describes to you that the person that had passed away was someone that's very important to him, potentially a loved one, and that with each imbibement of this marijuana, he begins to relive those memories. They take him back. It's like it's basically just reliving that particular memory, and it's whatever is retaining of the body.
That's fucking awesome, but sort of sad and weird. I kind of give him a kind of a quizzical look because I'm still not. Like I said, Cypress is not a smart man. He struggles a little bit, so he's kind of trying to put it together. And I just sort of ask him like, how did he come about this, or did he create it, or like I'd never heard of such a thing before, and I am well versed in the world of imbibing.
I will say that with magic, absolutely anything is capable, boy. You simply only desire a method of achieving something that is unknown up to this point. Wizards are not confined to their blood. Nothing personal, miss. Leaning over to Symarra. But I've spent my entire life learning that nothing is truly impossible, only unlikely, and that if you choose to pursue something that everyone says impossible, you can use that as energy to achieve just that.
I immediately fall on the ground and ask him. I asked to be his apprentice. I immediately submit to this man's will, and I want to know everything he knows, and I want to learn under him. Because any man that puts his mind to putting a loved one into his weed smoke, and that was his goal, is a man that I want to. That is a man I want to aspire to be. In a more serious way, is he now? When he's handing this to me, is he just handing me more weed from his mind, or he's not handing me any sort of device to do it myself? Is he?
No, it's just like a small bag that contains buds, and he'll break it down and wrap it up, and yeah.
Cool. I mean, I'm down. This is a really, really, really crazy. That's crazy, and very creative too. Good job, DM.
I like it.
So how much is it exactly? And is it magical by nature? Like how much he's giving me?
Oh, he's not
giving me any.
He's not, like, he was just sharing it with you in this moment, especially since you asked. But at this point, if you live to tell the tale, he would teach you how to do this.
Oh shit, that's crazy! I'm learning weedmancy. This is me.
Weedmancer.
All right, guys.
Goals have been realized for my character. That's crazy.
We're gonna take just a second I got to get up and step away, run to the bathroom, bio, grab a drink. When I return, I'm assuming everybody else is probably gonna get up and do the same. Lily's gonna be awake because he's gonna wake her ass up immediately, since it seems like Cypress has agreed. And then we're gonna adventure off
look after children
and into the next.
Yeah, you
next
have
point.
to look after children.
Cypress, this is. You said it's the Druid Circle of Weed. You've missed out on it literally being Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's too good.
I did miss.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. See you in just a moment, my friends. It's going to El Breakerino. See you in just a second. Whoops, wrong one. Disregard that. Oh my god, which one is it? That one. That's it. BRB!